Local, Paramount Builders, Buyer Zone, Business.com, ADP Paychecks, and again, hundreds more. Some disclosures. While these practices that I'm about to share are extremely effective at getting web pages to rank on page 1 of Google, I am not making guarantees. I don't own Google. Google ultimately uses an algorithm to make the decision who's going to rank. There are many other algorithms that Google uses to rank websites on page 1, including inbound links, website authority, the user experience, the relevance of the content on your page, etc. But again, if you use these practices that we'll share, assuming you have all the right content and you bring value to the user, you should be able to see some results if you implement these. So there's just 4 basic things I'm going to talk about today to keep it very simple. Again, this is like low level. Title tag, H1 tag, and we'll break down each one of them in just a second. The URL structure and the content that is on each web page. Starting with the first one, title tags. I don't want this to sound like Chinese, so it's the title tag is essentially, it's how you tell Google, hey, Google, this is what my page is about. It will help Google determine which pages it should put at the top of the results. And of course, there are many factors, again, that Google considers before placing someone on page 1. Again, trustworthiness, your relevance, your uniqueness, meaning you can't just copy content and stick it on your web page, authority, etc. I think I could even probably simplify it more. A title tag, think about it if you were reading a newspaper. As soon as you open up the paper, there's a big giant article, right? Article title. That title tells you, the reader, is this something I'm interested in? Is this something that I want to read? And theoretically, that title should tell you what the article is about. So essentially, the title tag serves as the same purpose for search engines. It tells Google and it tells the user what the page content is supposed to be about. So what I've done here, I just did some screenshots because if I was doing this live, it would probably take more than 20 minutes to do it. So I'm showing you here is a Google search for the term roofing companies Chesapeake. And what we generally see first when we do this is sponsored ads. So this is a pay-per-click solution and anyone can set this up. And essentially I'm putting in a figure, Google, if somebody puts in these words, I'm willing to pay $15 every time somebody clicks on it. I'm willing to pay $20 every time somebody clicks on it. So it's a way to buy your way into the top of the results. And people do this, of course, because not everybody can rank in the maps or rank organically in Google. Now, if I were to scroll down this page a little further, here we go. The next thing I would see are Google My Business, Google Maps. It's changed names a couple times over the years. And these again are free listings that you don't have to pay anytime somebody clicks on them. Here we see that one's a paid one, but you have Atlantic Craftsman, Clark Roofing, and Best Choice Roofing. It's a great place to be, but that's not what we're talking about today. If I were to scroll down a little further, next what we're seeing here is organic search. So these are people who have optimized their website for organic search, and you can get unlimited free clicks. And this is how we built our business, totally on organic search. We do no paid listings for our company. I'm not saying that's not very effective. It is, but in our business model, this keeps our margins extremely strong. Now, you will notice, congratulations, wBBB ranks #1 organically. That they have properly optimized their website, but that's because Google, when it comes to these home service businesses, they really, really tend to lean towards, for top rankings, directory type things, BBB, Angie, Yelp, and so forth. I could get into some theories as to why that is, but I don't think it's going to help anybody on today's call. But if I look at this right here where it says roofing contractors near Chesapeake, Virginia, that's the title tag. So when I'm looking at the search results, this generally will be the title tag. If I were to click on this, whoever created this web page, they made that their title tag. So the second one you'll see is best roofers in Chesapeake, VA, Bevan's Roofing, new and replacement roofs, the best 10 roofing in Chesapeake, Virginia, and roof repair services in Chesapeake. So why do I bring this title tag up? Because I want you to notice how important it is. This is the first thing we do, is we make sure the title tag is relevant to what people are looking for. So in this case, if I were to type in roofing companies Chesapeake, you're going to see that the results that Google will normally render will almost always be including those search terms in their title tag. That can be a little different. You can type in roofing companies, and Google realizes, okay, roofing contractors, the same thing, roofing companies, roofing businesses, roof replacement. But that's your title tag. So that's the search results. We're going to now see a different view of the title tag. So what this is here, and some of you, I know not everybody is a web developer. Whoever built your website can tell you how to do this. What I'm looking at right here is behind the scenes in WordPress. So WordPress is what we built one of our websites on. You'll see it's 5estimates.com. But there are different things. So this one is using Rank Math SEO. I prefer a plugin called All-in-One SEO. But regardless of what type of editor you're using, somewhere within that platform, you are able to go in and create a title tag for every single page that you build. So I'm just showing you this one. Again, this is Rank Math SEO. Here's where I would enter it. It's how much does roof replacement cost in Virginia Beach? Here's another preview of the same thing. Again, behind the scenes, you'll see it says title here. So it may not say title tag. It may just be, think of, again, page title. And then here you can give it a description. We don't normally do that because the search engines are pretty good at putting in their own description or pulling from your web page to add the description. But that, again, is the title tag. Whatever I put in here, when I give the title tag, when somebody does a search, I'm going backwards. In the search results, it will appear as a clickable blue link up here. So then the second thing we have is an H1 tag. It's also known as a header tag. So think about this, again, how a headline would be in the newspaper. Again, it's a great analogy. It tells you what the article's about. It tells you what the page is about, thereby letting you know if it's something that you want to read. The H1 tag and the title tag, although, are two different things. To give you an example, this is, again, one of our websites. Usually when you click on a page, there is a large title tag or a large font up top. In this case, it's how much does roof replacement cost in Virginia Beach. So I'm going to stop there for a minute. Usually for me, whatever I'm making the H1 tag, that's the same thing that I'm going to use as my title tag. They're going to be the exact same thing. So in this case right here, my title tag is also reading, as we saw on a previous slide, how much does roof replacement cost in Virginia Beach? So keeping in mind, I'm not trying to rank for roofing companies because I'm not a roofing company. If I was trying to rank for roofing companies and I made my title tag that, people would then go to my page and say, well, you're not a roofing company. You're more like a home advisor. You're a quote service. So we're trying to target people who are looking for information about the cost of a roof replacement in Virginia Beach. So again, the H1 tag, it always should go at the very top of the page. You should only use one H1 tag on a page. You can have multiple H2 tags and multiple H3, but you will confuse Google if you have a bunch of these on the same page. And do not create two pages targeting the exact same term, meaning I don't want to have 5 pages on my website targeting roofing companies, Virginia Beach. If I do that, it will confuse Google and I'm likely not to rank for anything there. So here again is the H1 tag. How much does roof replacement cost in Virginia Beach? Sorry, the participants are covering some of my notes, so I'm working through this without being able to view them a little bit. highlight the text that you want to make. Oh, so here's how you would make an H1 tag in WordPress normally. You would highlight this, and then you would go, there's a drop box up here where you see it says paragraph. You can then select, do I want this font to be a paragraph, which would be this down here, the smaller stuff? Do I want it to be an H1, which is the main page of the title tag, if you will, same thing. An H2 tag might be something down here. So this is a smaller one. But again, you want one H1 tag. It goes up at the top. And when you're done, just to make sure you click on your WordPress, you should click save. And once you save it, it should go live immediately onto the web. And the third thing is the URL. So the URL is basically the website address. So the one we were just looking at is number 5 estimates.com. Well, then we give the rest of that URL. We're going to use specific words for that. So while it's not a heavy ranking factor, I wouldn't overthink this, especially if you've already created web pages. I don't think you want to go in there, normally speaking, and editing them unless you have a lot of experience with this. You can still rank pretty good without the URL being modified, although it does help. If your page is already live, just leave it alone, but we'll give you an example. So the URL, this is in Chesapeake. If I were Googling roof replacement cost in Chesapeake, the #1 ranked page is, gotta put my glasses on, graylineroofingva.com, and you can see a snippet of the URL. And what am I pointing out is that you'll see Google likes this Chesapeake dash. So it's graylineroofing.va /Chesapeake dash roof dash probably replacement. So you'll see that again, because all of these words are located in the URL, Google will favor it. It will recognize. It's just once again reaffirming to Google that, hey, this page is about Chesapeake. It's about roof replacement. And we think that we communicated properly to Google now with the title tag and the H1 tag and the URL to say all these words are consistent. You can feel confident posting this at the top of your search results. So again, I'm on this guy's web page now. This is not ours. I'm just showing you what if I were on the web page, you would look up top and you could see the URL completely spelled out. Again, now you'll see this is an H1 tag right here. What will I pay for a roof replacement in Chesapeake? So Google, even though he's not using the word cost, you can get away with synonyms: pay, cost, roofing, roofers, roof replacement, and so forth. And this apparently is just a blog post. So this is the blog post he did almost a year ago, and it was still ranking #1 in Chesapeake for roof replacement cost. And I want to say all those things that we just covered, they're really simple things to do. You can do all of those things in about 5 minutes. Those are the key components of telling Google, this is what this page is about. And while if you don't do those things, I can almost assure you there's no way in the world you're going to rank on page 1 of Google. So you have to do those. But equally important, if not more important, is this page that you create, the content has to be good. Meaning we can't just throw something on a web page and expect a lot of love from Google. So in the digital world, people who are trying to rank for, pick your word, business phone systems, you hear this common term called content is king. And it absolutely is true. So here are some tips. When you create a web page, or if you already have one, you can go back and update it if it's not ranking right now. The #1 thing is your content needs to be unique. Don't plagiarize. Personally, I avoid using AI. You can use some of these tools, ChatGPT. They do help, but I think to some degree, ChatGPT and these tools are kind of spitting out the same language. Almost, they might change it up a little bit. And I think at least for now, if not soon, Google will be able to spot these AI tools. And I think still to this, at least for now, there's nothing like human edited stuff, human written content. The word content, I think it should be no less than 500 words, if possible. And without being redundant, of course, I don't want to say the same stuff just because I'm trying to get 500 words. But if possible, I usually try to lean towards 1,000 words. Now, keeping in mind, if I'm writing, let's say I have a review site, I'm reviewing a bunch of roofing companies, I'm probably going to need closer to 2,000 or 3,000 because I'm not going to be able to do much of a review with just 600-700 words if I'm writing up an opinion, if you will, on 10 different roofing companies that we have done some research on and we think would be the best ones, or a review of the best business phone systems. Well, people are going to be looking for a lot of information if you're telling people why these 10 phone systems are the best. Your grammar needs to be 100% spot on. I don't write any of my own stuff. I come up with the ideas, but I am the grammar. Like, if you want someone to mess it up, that's me. So I have a team that writes all the content on our web pages to make sure it's grammatically correct. And a great tool that I have found is, if I'm trying to rank for any term, I'm just using roof replacement as an example, but if, let's say I want to rank on Google for best roofing companies, I will go in and Google best roofing companies, and I'm going to look at the web pages that Google has ranked on top. So do a Google search, look at the content on that page, and then your job is to do something, create something that's better and more valuable than the user is already getting. So the better you are at producing something that's valuable to the reader, the more likely you're going to rank. One of the things Google will do is Google can recognize if I search for something, let's say best phone systems. If I go to that page and I don't like what I saw, or I thought those reviews, like, this is not a review site, this is terrible. If I go back and perform that search again, Google said he didn't like what he saw on that page. Otherwise, he would have stopped. He would have looked at the content there, maybe fill out a contact form, and then moved on. When people go to your page and go back to Google, it's called pogo sticking. They bounce back and then they perform the search again. That is a signal to Google that your content is not of value to the people that are seeing it. And it's also a signal if they stay on that page and don't do that search again, you're sending a signal to Google saying they like what they saw on this page. And then lastly are links. I would never create a page that doesn't have at least one link on it. You can link to, generally speaking for us, it's going to link to another page on our website. So it allows Google to crawl through your website. And if it's a blog post, I'm very likely to link to an authoritative site. So let's say I'm a real estate agent and I've got a real estate website and I'm writing about homes for sale in the area, and I'm doing an article about all these different types of houses and neighborhoods. Perhaps I get to a point where I'm talking about mortgage rates. Well, I might link to a local mortgage company. Hey, if you're looking for loans, here are some, check out bankofamerica.com, if you will. Or I might link to, I think it's called Mortgage Calculator or something like that. I might link them to a mortgage calculator so it can help them rate. But it's a helpful piece of information for users. And again, if it's an authoritative site you're linking to, I think Google puts a little bit of value on that because you're providing value to the end user. And then value. Okay. Most importantly, to be helpful, your content is for the user, or for Google to consider adding it to the top of results, is this. And examples, here it is again. I'm sorry, guys, I'm duplicating myself. But if I Google mortgage rates instead of just, and there's a typo. So remember I said I shouldn't write. That should be writing. Instead of just writing what the current mortgage rate was on my webpage, I might include what the rates are for a new purchase. So this is my website. I'm going to be extra helpful. I'm writing about mortgage rates. I'm going to say, today, here's a new article. Today is April, whatever. The rates today for a new purchase are the following. Rates to refinance are XYZ. The average rates for good credit versus fair credit versus great credit are. So I'm addressing multiple questions. So if somebody landed on my page trying to find out information about mortgage rates, by the way, this would be a highly complicated search term. I would not recommend someone try to target mortgage rates, but I might target mortgage rates Virginia Beach because I'm not competing with the entire world at this point. And again, on this page, if I've got a calculator on here, if I have useful tools and data, and since we're talking about mortgage rates, this would be something you would need to probably update almost daily. If I am a roofer or I'm doing something on phone systems or office coffee service, I'm not going to have to update this stuff on a regular basis. I could probably get by updating those pages once a year because things and pricing do change as time goes on. But everything is going to be dependent on, again, what industry am I in? Do mortgage rates change every day? Yes. So if I've got a web page that I built a month ago about mortgage rates, Google is intelligent enough to say, well, clearly this can't be accurate a month later. All right, so I'm going to stop there. I probably went a little faster than I should. I wanted everyone to be able to get what they needed. It's a very simple process. It's not complicated. Again, the title tag, URL, and the H1 tag take about 5 minutes to do. The content is where you should invest most of your time. Make sure it's good, make sure it helps people, make sure it answers questions. And that last tip is just Google it.
Come over again.
I'm sorry.
So we can figure out the wording that you would like.
I'm not hearing that question. Elizabeth, can you hear that?
I'm sorry, say again. Can you type it in to the chat box, please? Type your question in, please. And while you're doing that, Mike, there is a question that came in. So very quickly, back to where the roof replacement, the rest of the tag where it said cost, you said that his blog post was still ranking in the #1 spot. Is it because of that keyword? And if it is, if other companies added those same keywords, would it move his blog post?
It could. So again, Google's going to look at first of all, everyone who wants to rank for that term should have those words in their URL, in their H1 tag, in their title tag. The only way, there's probably 2 ways you're going to outrank that person. One is if my website, well, first, if I need to get better content than him. Secondly, I need to have more authority than him. So if HomeAdvisor has a lot of authority, they have a lot of inbound links, and I don't want to get into links on this call because that gets really complicated. But when you have links pointing to your website from third-party websites, it builds the value of your website. And Google puts a lot of trust and a lot of authority into that. So, for example, Virginia Pilot could put a blog on their website about how much it costs for a roof replacement in Virginia Beach, and they would almost assuredly rank immediately. That post would rank probably overnight just because they have so much authority. Unless, assuming they just wrote like 100 words and it was just not helpful to the user. I'm reading this now. Thank you. Okay, good. You're welcome. Beth said thank you. Thank you. Okay. Was there another question? Did you say? I don't see any in the comments, Elizabeth.
No, I don't either. I actually have a question.
Okay.
When you were discussing the putting on important links, at least adding one link
Yes.
for someone to go to that would be relevant to the content that you're trying to get out. Would it also pertain to social media links?
It can.
Would that hold weight?
I think so. Yes, it can. Although, generally speaking, I think you're going to find normal web pages have more authority and more trust than social media links. But I wouldn't rule it out. It's not often that you see social media pages rank and search, although it does happen sometimes. So I guess if I'm going to link, I guess the simple rule would be, regardless of where I'm linking, what would be the most helpful? what would help me if I were looking for this stuff, if I want some information. One of our clients is Paramount Builder. So if they want to rank for roof replacement cost, for example, on that page, I might link to a lending institution for people who are, because one of the things, if I'm looking for roof replacement costs, there's a good chance also, like I think about what other questions would somebody have who was Googling roof replacement costs? He might be wondering, are there companies out there that finance? Because not everyone, can take a home equity line of credit. Not everyone has $14,000 cash sitting in their bank. So I might link somebody to, and if you're looking for financing, here's Bob's Roofing Lending Service.com. So just think more so when you're linking about, is it really helpful? So don't link just to link. That's not a good idea. Is this an actual helpful link? And again, if I'm on roof replacement cost and I'm going to do an internal link, I might just link to one of my main web pages or my quote page even. Here, click here to get a quote. Or click here for information about, should I repair or does my roof need to be repaired or replaced? How long does a roof last? So you can write a lot of helpful blogs and link to them from other blogs. And we do that pretty regularly.
Wow, that's good information.
So I do
good to know.
I do want to add this. So I've shared this a lot, and I know if you don't know how to do it, you can sit down with a webmaster and you can figure out title tag, H1 tag, really easy. They're not complicated. I couldn't spell it out for you how to do it because there's 1,000 web editors out there. So there's no way I could, tell everyone how they're doing it on their own. But it really is so easy. And we really try. For us, again, we're doing about 1 million leads a year. We're not trying to rank for highly competitive terms. So if I'm going to use the mortgage industry again, if I wanted to get leads for the mortgage industry, what I would not do is try to rank for the word mortgage loans. I would be competing with every lender in the United States, and you could do everything that I just taught you, and you are highly unlikely to get any leads. So instead, I'm going to narrow down that competition. And instead of trying to rank for mortgage loans, I'm going to go mortgage loans Chesapeake. Now I'm only competing with people who do loans in Chesapeake. Refinance rates, Virginia Beach. And again, think about all the different ways people might ask questions and then try to rank for those terms. I think sometimes we try to go for the home run. Like, I just want to rank for this big giant money term. And in a perfect world, that would be great. But the reality is it's very difficult if you're trying to rank for a big money term. So instead, go for low hanging fruit. For us, again, we're trying to get leads for people. I'm just using roofing again as an example. I'm never going to try to rank for roof replacement companies because there's probably 100 roofers in Virginia Beach. I don't want to go up against 100 people. Instead, I'm going to go after the term like how much does it cost to replace a roof in Virginia Beach? Roof replacement cost, Virginia Beach. Now I'm competing with maybe 20 different people, and my goal is to I'll aggregate some information. I'll pull up. I'm not just going to go, well, the cost to do a roof is about $15,000. Instead, I might have a table in there that shows the cost of roof replacement for a 1,500 square foot house, a 2,000 square foot house, a 2,500 square foot house. Then I might talk about, how long do roofs last in Virginia Beach? Can I I might have some photos, signs that your roof needs to be replaced. And I might show, some shingles peeled off or maybe leaking inside the house or you could use all kinds of things. And then I might even have another table where I'm saying for roof replacement costs, asphalt shingles versus a metal roof versus clay tiles. So again, just the focus is don't try to take a shortcut, give people value. And you're supposed to be able to say to yourself, well, I can tell you right now, I Googled roof replacement cost and I looked at the top 3 ranking pages. What I just produced today is better. Even if you want to put a video on there, be better, provide more value than everyone else's, and you will greatly increase your odds of ranking in Google. At the very least, even if you don't rank number one for a term, if your content is good, you might be surprised that you'll rank for about 10 or 15 long tail search terms, which may not make you rich, but they will drive leads steady all year long. You should continue to get leads. We do this. We have websites doing 80 to 100,000 visitors a month. We don't rank for the money term, but we just rank for thousands and thousands of long tail search terms, and mainly because we wanted to provide something that was useful, that was helpful to people. So Google values it, but it doesn't value it enough to let us rank for the money term. But I almost bet you that we're driving more leads and traffic than the guy who's ranking for the money term, because he's not ranking for all the long tail terms because he doesn't have the content to support. And that's
Wow,
it.
that is amazing.
Oh,
And the more specific you can be, the better, seems like.
yes. Yeah. It's all about value. And each person on this call is in some industry, and they're at the end of the day, you're saying we're the best at what we do, whether you're a landscaping service or a gutter replacement company, or you install VoIP phone systems. You have to illustrate to the end user why you're the best, and you've got to do it. And the only way we can do it is through content. I am big on videos, by the way. We all consume information differently. Almost anytime I would rank for something, I will do a YouTube. I'll put it up on YouTube. And again, I'm not a cheesy video. I will do a high quality video. You can use Fiverr, pay $200-300, and you'll get a professional artist to use the green screen behind them and make something just highly professional. But we all consume information differently, and I'm one of those guys. I by far prefer to watch a video than I do to read. I won't sit down and read a newspaper, but I'll sit down and watch the news all day long. So in a video, I'm reaching both audiences. You can watch the video, or you can just dive right in and read the entire blog post and consume information that way.
That's awesome. Gosh, Mike, that is a lot of information. Good information. Wow, that's amazing. And if you guys have any questions, if you want to pursue anything further of what Mike has had to say, please reach out to him. You can reach him at Peak Marketing in Virginia Beach. Just look him up. And of course, he's got his beautiful profile sitting on wBBB.org. I'm sorry, Chesapeake. I'm so sorry. So sorry.
I'm literally 3 minutes away from Virginia Beach, so you're fine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to end now so everybody can get back to work. Please feel free to reach out to Mike. I know he would love to hear from you. Just a couple of quick notes. Be on the lookout for your next wBBB newsletter on May 1. It is chock full of good information with some links provided for some things that we've got coming up. And also our next virtual meeting will take place at 9:30 on Thursday, May 23rd, when we will have wBBB accredited guest speaker Brandon Johnson of Centerville Insurance, who will be diving into the world of different insurances for business owners. So we'll wrap it up now, guys. Thanks so much for being here today. Mike, again, thank you so much for being here with us and giving us this wealth of information that you've given to us. And I hope everybody has a great day.
Thank you.